For many families rearing children with fetal alcohol syndrome, they say that the single biggest challenge is the school system, because the school is set up developmentally to expect certain behaviors and certain understandings at each stage. The child with fetal alcohol syndrome is, no matter what their IQ, is going to socially and emotionally, developmentally be below that chronological age all the way along.
Children who are prenatally exposed to alcohol are easily distracted.
Yellow. Sundays are always going to be what color?
Whether it's by noises, changes, activity, or other students, they may have trouble focusing or staying on task. Some feel more secure if they're in motion much of the time. They talk a lot, tend to pester others, and have a poor understanding of personal boundaries. As a result of these behaviors, children with FAS are often dismissed as troublemakers or behavior problems.
Excuse me, aren't you supposed to be over here? Thank you.
Children with fetal alcohol often make the same mistake over and over and over. And so that looks like non-compliance, or may even look like oppositional defiant disorder. But for a child with fetal alcohol syndrome, it's not non-compliance, it's non-competence.
As director of the Fetal Alcohol Education Program at Boston University School of Medicine, Barbara Morse has helped health professionals, parents, and teachers understand the learning disability associated with FAS.
Thanks a lot.
You're welcome. Have a great time.
Thanks. I'll see you tomorrow.
Some teachers will say that the IQ score is confusing to them. They see a child who has a particular IQ score and they expect a certain level of learning behavior based on that. And that doesn't work for children with fetal alcohol syndrome. Their intelligence is often intelligence they can't use effectively. So you may see a child who knows something on Monday, doesn't know it on Wednesday, and by Friday they seem to have it back again. And that's very frustrating. Teachers need to recognize this is part of the disability of fetal alcohol syndrome, that inability to retrieve information rather than an inability for this teacher to teach well.
Children affected by fetal alcohol exposure are usually friendly, eager to please, and often try hard to succeed at school.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Excellent.
Although they sometimes do well in the early grades, they often have problems as they get older, and the schoolwork becomes more abstract. They may be regarded as lazy or stubborn. Without a diagnosis of FAS, teachers often believe the child is smarter than he actually is, and assume the child just needs to buckle down and try harder.
While we often think that FAS is a unique disability in certain ways, and it's important to recognize it, I think it's also important to recognize teachers already know a lot about how to help children like those with fetal alcohol syndrome. That techniques that work for a child with an auditory learning disability may also work for a child with fetal alcohol syndrome. The techniques that help a child who has a sensory integration disorder will certainly help a child who has fetal alcohol syndrome. And teachers can rely on their own expertise and what they already know about how to help other children to help these kids as well. Teachers working with families and coming together to figure out what's effective for every child play a pivotal role in helping these children have a bright future.